FitEx is an 8-week group and evidence-based program offered by Cooperative Extension to promote physical activity and fruit and vegetable consumption. Over 80% of adults are not meeting the recommendations for physical activity, and 70% of adults are not meeting the dietary guidelines for fruit and vegetable consumption. But being active can help us as we live, work, and play. There are so many options for being active that it can be overwhelming. But FitEx is unique as it connects people within their community, workplace, and family to focus on building a supportive social network around physical activity and fruit and vegetable consumption. FitEx isn't just about walking. It's about getting active with activities you enjoy, like gardening, walking your dog, or playing catch. FitEx is being delivered in a number of states by Cooperative Extension professionals, community volunteers, and health professionals.
So good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here to learn a little bit more about FitEx. The way this hour is set up is we'll talk a bit about why walking and walkability is so important in general, as well as in the United States. We'll talk more specifically about the goals of FitEx and how it's used to improve walking and overall physical activity behaviors. We'll talk more specifically about the core elements of FitEx, and core elements just mean the key ingredients that make it work beyond just going out for a walk with others. We'll talk about how you deliver FitEx. We'll also do a website tutorial and wrap up with a Q&A. If it works for everybody on the call today, I'd love to get to everything, including a 6-minute share from an agent who's been delivering the program for a couple of years, for those of you who know her, Becky Gartner. And so after that, if we have any general questions before the website tutorial, we'll do that. That way, if you have any questions that haven't been addressed, that would be a great time so that we can kind of go along with the agenda as is. As always, please feel free to use the chat box to share any questions, thoughts, suggestions throughout, and I will also take notes on any conversation that we have and any follow-up that may come out of the tutorial. So Step It Up is the name of the Surgeon General's call to action from 2015. And in 2015, there was a call to action to make walking and walkable communities a national priority. We really weren't doing well. A lot of communities, particularly in rural areas, don't have spaces and places for people to feel comfortable walking and wheeling, and a lot of people don't know how to get started. And as this became a priority in 2015, Virginia Cooperative Extension had also addressed in 2014 that easy physical activity interventions that don't require a lot of equipment, time, set up, all of these things would meet the mission, needs, and values of the system. So it became this perfect storm to really talk about walking and walkable communities. And why is walking a key public health strategy? Well, some of the reasons are that it's an easy way to start and maintain an active lifestyle. And from here on, if I say walking, I mean walking or wheeling. And that's it's an easy way to start being more physically active. It's a common form of physical activity that most of us are doing, even as we park in the parking lot of our grocery store and things like that. It's a multi-purpose activity. It helps with bone strength, aerobic. You could also be social while walking, so you can really think of walking as a multi-purpose activity. And it also has health and community benefits. As we think about individuals' choices within the communities that they live within, other structures, the more we walk, the less we might be driving. And so we might be contributing to environmental health as well as our own health. We might be contributing to traffic calming measures and all of these types of things. So walking is a great public health strategy, not only for physical activity and social connection, but also for the environment. And Cooperative Extension has been offering a number of walking programs since 1999. Because physical, as we mentioned, walking is a common multi-purpose physical activity that's easy to get started and keep going. It also often encourages folks to think about other ways that they might want to be active once they finally build a routine or confidence related to walking and being more mobile in their bodies. And so this has been a cornerstone of cooperative extension programming since 1999, and many state systems offer a type of statewide walking program. And our walking program is called FitEx instead of something like Walk Across Virginia or Walk Virginia, because we want to see many state systems of cooperative extension engage in FitEx. So as you can see pictured here, and maybe not knowingly, in the bottom left, that's a graphic figure of Wyoming, and then on the right, it's Virginia. So that's where FitEx is currently being offered in those two states at this time. But the idea is that we want to increase the number of people meeting the physical activity recommendations. But as is an important priority for cooperative extension, we also really want to focus on nutritious dietary behaviors, which often includes fruit and vegetable consumption. So there is also a focus on fruits and vegetables within this challenge. And we also want to have population level disease prevention and health promotion. And those are related but distinct features, right? Because we want to feel better and we want to be able to move more, but we also know that physical activity is a modifiable health behavior that decreases risks of many chronic diseases, including 13 types of cancers. And it's also a modifiable behavior that helps if you already have a chronic condition. So being more active helps across a lot of different mental, physical, social, environmental components. So you might be now wondering, well, really, how does it work? And pictured here on this slide is how we really distill the program. The program is delivered to teams of individuals, which is represented in the left corner. So we have the color coordinated bracelets for people to have a sense of distinctiveness. So maybe in your county, some people wear purple bracelets and some people wear green bracelets. And so each team has their different color. Or maybe your county has one color and another county has another color. So by focusing on the team, we have support, accountability, and friendly competition right there. We know from 30 years of work that when people are put on teams, they can stick together and remain united in a very different way than if they sign up to do something on their own. So they already have this built-in support of family, friends, coworkers, whatever composition works best for them. And because we are cooperative extension and in alignment with USDA, we also focus on easy nutrition messaging related to increasing your consumption of fruits and vegetables and the variety of fruits and vegetables. So what we have seen over the last 20 years with this program is that people really think that they might be getting the recommended 5 cups per day, but then they might say at the beginning of the program that they are, but then once they're tracking daily or weekly, they see that they're really only getting maybe 2, maybe 2.5. And so this awareness really prompts a behavior change and really prompts them to start tracking and increasing. But the other thing that's at the base of this program is this idea of friendly competition. So not just competition, but friendly competition. We've seen people say that when someone else on their team has walked more steps than them, they go down in the basement and get on their elliptical and try to get more steps because you don't want to be the weakest link, and other really fun strategies like that. And so you're competing with yourself to be more active and to eat more healthfully than maybe you were at the beginning of the program. You're also competing within the team, and then team to team competition. And as I mentioned on the previous slides, that we really want to have multiple states contributing to this program so we can see how many Americans we can get meeting the physical activity guidelines as well as fruit and vegetable consumption recommendations. And then the final picture you see here is our Series 1 FitEx newsletters. So they used to look a bit different and they were in a Word document, and now you have access to a picture, a JPEG, or a PDF. And we did it in this way because we were getting feedback that some people were choosing to take screenshots of the newsletters and post them on their social media accounts. Or maybe you want to just deliver the newsletter via email and you want something that people can print out and easily keep and reference. We also have a recipe of the week with the QR code, which is the image in the bottom right side of the newsletter. So if you have a phone or an app that allows you to read QR codes, you can hover over that and it takes the participant right to the Eat Smart, Move More cookbook or recipe list from the Family Nutrition Program. So they're healthful recipes that are encouraging fruits and vegetables throughout each week. On the left side, you can see the Just For You. So this is some sort of message to the participants around why self-tracking is an important component to hold yourself accountable. Or as the weeks move on and you become really busy, what are some ways that you can prioritize your health or this program and different things that are individualized. So individual behavior change strategies, self-monitoring, feedback, goal setting, those types of things. Then the middle category here that you see on the newsletter is called Team Talk. Every week we have a Team Talk suggestion, and it has things like, you can see pictured here, being part of a team can provide encouragement, motivation, and connection. Don't be afraid to jump in and contribute in whatever way you can to this team. So some teams decide to get together and go for a walk, or maybe they never get together to do physical activity, but they send encouraging messages or they do miniature challenges on their social media. So every week we have a prompt like this one that says, this week, discuss with your teammates why being physically active is important to you and what motivated you to join FitEx. Tag on your social media your number one reason for joining with hashtag FitEx, hashtag why I move. And in this way, other people who follow them, they can stay connected with the program outside of the weekly newsletters and weekly check-ins. So this is just one way to have a continued checkpoint with your team members and others. So you'll have your team, but then other people might be using the hashtags as well. So you can see what other people in the county, state, or nation are doing as it relates to FitEx on their physical activity and fruit and vegetable consumption journey. So this slide was a lot, but it's really covering the fact that we have individualized behavior change strategies. We have group dynamics behavior change strategies. We have physical activity and fruit and vegetable consumption encouragement, and there's something that they can do to keep the program going and alive throughout each day and each week of the program. So to get into more specifics about potentially your role or your master food volunteer or your team's role as an agent or administrator, you recruit team captains thinking about registering, recruiting. We already have on the website email blurbs, flyers, and more. So if you're thinking, I'm going to send this out through a mass email on a listserv, we have some text that you can modify for your community. We also have social media posts and flyers, what you might share with your local newspaper if a journalist has picked this up for you. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. We tried to make many of these materials available. We also have a piggy bank here because this one seems to be a part of our conversation often. So we do suggest $2 per person or $10 per team for participation. The reason for that is because often when things are free, people don't always engage. So a really low nominal cost for engagement might make them feel like they bought into something. If you choose to do that, you also then have $10 per team that you can use to host a kickoff event, a midway celebration, or a closing event, Or perhaps you can advertise that by charging $10 per team, that gives you funds so that you can have some sort of prize for the team that posts the most or attains their goal and all of these different things. So you can figure out what motivates your community the most and then have some sort of prize for that. As you saw in the previous slide with the picture of the wristbands, you can do things like that. You can buy different swag for the program if that works for you. And then another thing is you can just not charge and offer the program completely free. But this is just a suggestion because it does help people feel like they're buying in, and then you have this self-generating funds for this program. The other thing as an agent is to send the weekly newsletters and feedback to the participants. We've done a couple of research studies on this program, and we find that people start to taper off on reporting because at first it's fun, it's new, it's exciting, and it's showing different patterns, so people are really engaged. But then after about week 5, so to get you to the full 8 weeks, at about week 5, people start to report less because it's lost that initial fun and flair. And so in order to encourage that, we encourage the agents or whoever the administrator is to really pick up the feedback, the encouragement, something towards the prize, things like that, so that people feel like they're in it for the long haul, which is only 8 weeks. But if we keep them engaged for the 8 weeks, then hopefully they'll want to continue the behaviors after the program wraps up. The other levels of program participants are your team captain and your team members. So you are only recruiting the team captains. The team captains then recruit 5 team members. They create with their team members a goal and provide encouragement. So as you can see, this person is kind of the middle person for you, between you and all of the other team members. So if I recruit 10 team captains, I actually get to reach out to and serve 50 people because I recruited 10 people and those 10 people recruited 5 people each. So the team captain is usually someone who's very charismatic, organized, maybe connected within the network, maybe somebody at a work site or within a different community who is a leader, or maybe someone who hasn't previously been a leader, but this is an opportunity for them to do so. So it's usually somebody who's pretty charismatic, pretty organized, and enthusiastic about either their current health journey or starting a health journey. And then the final layer is the team members. All they have to do is join the team that they were already agreed to be a part of with the team captain, and then they log their physical activity and fruit and vegetable consumption. So you can kind of see the roles and responsibilities by level and layer here. So as a recap, the responsibilities for someone who's an administrator or an agent is to send the weekly newsletters, send and include in those weekly newsletters reports and feedback. Without feedback, people don't feel that sense of accountability and they might start to taper off. So that's a really important part for you as the agent, as the support. We want to be an educator and a cheerleader all at the same time. So hopefully you're interested in learning a little bit more about the logistics and how you get started after today. So I previously mentioned the potential of creating a task force, and you might be wondering why you would create a task force. We suggest a task force where you pick interested and invested individuals from the community to serve basically as a committee, but we're calling it a task force, but it's basically a committee where they can help you plan, promote, carry out program activities, and share in coordinating responsibilities. So say you're trying to partner with a community that is low income, and you don't want to charge $2 per person or $10 per team, but you still want to be able to provide a kickoff event and a closing ceremony. By creating a task force, you can find individuals who either can donate themselves as a representative of a certain organization, or those people may be able to go around and get different sponsors for your FitEx program. What often works a lot for that is to have t-shirts for your participants, and every organization that contributes can have their logo on the back of the t-shirt. And when people see people in the same color and t-shirt, they know that they're part of this larger FitEx community and moving more and sitting less. The other reason to have a task force is if you're not going to be available for a week, maybe you're thinking about launching it this summer and you need someone else to be able to log in and provide feedback or send out that newsletter. That's a great way to say, you know, not everything is on my shoulders. We're sharing in this responsibility to carry out the program. And you'll also see here that we have the logo for the Master Food Volunteers. That's a great resource. So if you're an agent who has Master Food Volunteers, or if you are a Master Food Volunteer and you're thinking, I need to get some of my hours in, this is a great way to get out in the community. And particularly at this time, as you've heard me mention, sometimes the teams never get together for the physical activity. You don't have to have a weekly meetup to go for a walk. Everybody is being active and tracking and supporting each other, potentially from a distance. So you now may be wondering how you might reach the target audience. So as we mentioned, we have a bunch of customizable promotional materials. So maybe as you are thinking about your recruitment goal, if you're someone who hasn't delivered the program before, maybe you want to just have, 10 teams of 5 people, or maybe you want to have 100 teams. Maybe you want to go into a work site and offer this as one of their work site wellness programs. Maybe you want to partner with Parks and Rec or YMCA and things like that and really get a large program going. Or maybe you just want to do it as your VCE unit. The options are endless, but think about your recruitment goal and how many people you want to recruit, so then you can tailor your recruitment strategies for the load that you're expecting. So we've got the customizable promotional materials. We also have countywide kickoff events that work really well. So that can just build a bit of hype about it, a bit of excitement. We've seen people, set up tables and balloons, and people select their team names there and then at the countywide kickoff event. Or you can have the kickoff event after people have already registered, kind of as the first day of the program, whatever works for you. Then potentially networking within your community. One of the things that really concerns me as a specialist within cooperative extension is I hear a bit about competition, or a lot where it's like, well, I can't offer this program because it competes with X, Y, and Z program. If we knew how to get everybody up and motivated and eating healthfully, I would gladly step back and never offer the program again and do the thing that's working for everybody. But as we know, there's not a one size fits all. Some things work for some folks and some things don't. So one of the things about cooperative extension is that we're here really to educate and empower. We're not personal trainers. Some of us may be, but that's not our role as extension as we promote this program. And we might be reaching audiences that don't have wearable devices and want the technology component. So as you can see here, it says no internet access, no problem. You can send out this printable PDF that you see on the right side of the screen. That's the individual log for physical activity and fruit and vegetable consumption. And each day they can circle how many fruits or vegetables they had, what type of activity they did. You can see here there's someone running, there's gardening, biking, swimming, or other. Then they can select the number of minutes that they did that. And then at the top, they can just enter what week that is. So there's 2 weeks per sheet, so they can have 4 sheets. Send that to their captain or to you, you can determine, and then get that entered online for them. But what people have done is they print this out, they put it on their refrigerator. It's easy to track because sometimes you just don't want to have something else that you need to enter into your phone. So I share that with the networking with the community, because maybe you're reaching a different audience than one that's more tech savvy or embracing technology for their programming goals. I just wanted to share a couple of things about that. I do know that the agent perceptions piece will share a bit more about successful strategies, but I will say that partnering with a particular entity or organization like a work site or a senior center or a community center has really helped folks get bigger access than just posting, flyers around. But a lot of agents have also put out an advertisement in their local county newspaper, and that has helped as well. But I have also seen that those newspaper stories are usually picked up after recruitment has finished. And so that might not be a way to reach people, but it's a way to reach people in the coming years. But instead, you could do a newspaper a spot where you say, we are about to offer FitEx, here's what it entails, here's how it's worked for other communities, and then share where to sign up. So those are some of your options there as well. So now I will pause to share an agent's experience. This is a video from Becky Gartner of Virginia Cooperative Extension and Family and Consumer Sciences, and hopefully you can see her image here.
So I'm in Culpeper County, Virginia, and I've run FitEx for 3 years in various aspects, and I'm getting ready to start my 4th year. I started mine in 2017 with the Culpeper County employees. There was no fitness or wellness program, and they wanted to get something started. So we did a lot of planning our first year, made it a really big event. We had a kickoff celebration where everybody came and registered their teams. We listed all the team names. We had food and just a lot of fun. And then we decided also to keep the momentum going. We had a midway party, and there were some incentives for the county put up some money for various drawings for cash prizes. That kind of really helped people keep going. And then at the end, we had a big kickoff celebration with the newspaper there to take pictures of the winning team and the amount of miles, and food again. We always have healthy food. I would have healthy recipes. And we did, for the midway party, we did a yogurt sundae bar, and they made yogurt parfait sundaes, and just a lot of fun, and had balloons, and just made a good celebration. And our whole purpose was to get people moving more. We've done it in the spring because of that. It warms up and people can get outside and get moving. I've done it in the general public in a fall time period, and that was through a grant we had. So we were able to offer cash prizes to the top 3 teams, which worked out really well. And that was a little different, trying to recruit general people in the public. But it was fun. It turned out, I think we ended up with about 35 participants that time. Our first year in Culpeper County, we had 91 participants, and they walked like 27,000 miles. I was amazed. Some advice to agents that want to do this is keep your teams the same size if you're going to have prizes at the end, because people are competitive. Let's put it that way. They're very competitive and want to keep everything as equal as possible. So try to keep your teams all the same size. We require a team of 6 usually, and that includes the captain and 5 members. We found that works real well. And have fun with the team names. Some of the team names, I was just looking over past documents we had. Our maintenance department was called Nuts and Bolts, spelled with a Z. Our treasury department was called Lost Treasures. We've had Emotionally Challenged and Not Fast, Just Furious. They're just some of my favorites we've had. And we actually tried to do competition between the names too. Let people kind of vote for which one they like the best. Keep up on your newsletters, some kind of weekly motivation. I usually either set a Friday or a Monday that I email everybody and pull the weekly results to see what's going on and say, who's in the lead, here's the newsletter, here's some tidbits in it, and there's a, like I said, add like there's a wicket run this weekend, or the weather's going to be great, get outside, those type of things. We've done pictures. We've had teams send in their pictures of their team doing things or even individually doing things. And we made those into a slideshow at the end. People actually got into it the first year a lot and had t-shirts made, or they wore the same color. And so that was a lot of fun too, to have pictures doing that. And we've done the bracelets, the colored bracelets is kind of nice because they all pick the color for their team and they wear them. And they say FitEx on them. So they're pretty inexpensive to get made too. Another advice is make sure everyone understands the rules and the deadlines to get their data in. That is kind of important, especially if people don't have internet access at home and they're using their work computers to do this, that you give them a day or two at the end to get all their data in, and then be firm on when you're pulling your results in the time period on that. Make it fun, have lots of fun with it. We've done things like walkabout Fridays because we have a park real close, and I would email people and say, hey, tomorrow's walkabout Friday, bring your sneakers to work and take a walk during your lunch break. We've done crazy socks, have people take pictures of them wearing crazy socks or their favorite place to walk or exercise. I think I like this a lot because it's just not walking. It involves any kind of movement. So people's like, oh, I don't go to the gym or I don't walk. But it's like you vacuum, don't you? And you garden. All those things add up too. So I always say no movement is better. Some movement is better than no movement. So it's getting people just moving. That's what I really like about the program. And again, just keep moving and have fun with this. And it's a good program. I like it a lot. It's, as an agent, once you do it a first time, it's pretty easy to maintain it. Once you get it going, it kind of gets rolling on its own. So have a lot of fun with it and just keep moving.
Hi, I'm Samantha Harden, and it is now 2024 when I am recording this. So you are seeing a couple of different iterations of the program and still learning about the evidence base behind FitEx and how you can be a facilitator of FitEx. You might be a Virginia Cooperative Extension agent or master food volunteer. You might be a community member looking to get your organization or group of friends up and moving and consuming more fruits and vegetables. It is important for us to have evergreen content, but I can't help but notice that spring is in bloom here, and FitEx was originally built to really beat those winter doldrums and get us outside and moving as much as possible. Please note that the FitEx program is really autonomous at this point. All of the evidence base is out there, all of the materials to communicate about FitEx with local media, with potential donors, with potential members of your task force, as well as potential other partners is already out there, available, and on the website. If you have any questions or need any supports, please do feel free to email me at harden.samantha@vt.edu, and we can continue to have a bi-directional relationship as to how FitEx can help you help others get moving, eat more fruits and vegetables, and have fun while doing it. As a brief tutorial of our website, I will share a couple of ways to get to the website and what you might expect from it. Please note that there are two ways to get to the FitEx website. One is by going to parsilab.org and navigating to our program tab and finding FitEx. Clicking there, it'll be parsilab.org/FitEx. You can also use the URL fit-x.org, and that will also take you directly to the link. When you are promoting this program in the community, we highly recommend using fit-ex.org to keep it more simplistic. Once there, you'll see a couple of different documents that might help you facilitate the program. First is a 2-minute promotional video that you can share with a variety of interested parties, including people who might support the program, might be interested in joining the program as well. So I highly recommend that you click on that and enjoy that video. In addition, we talk about starting here, finding the why behind your why. One of the ways to get people motivated and to stick together and remain united in eating more fruits and vegetables and moving more is to understand why they're making that behavior change. We use this kind of chart to say, okay, yes, I want to move more, but why do I want to move more? I want to move more so that I can keep up with my family members on hikes, or I want to be able to keep up with my grandkids, or I want to avoid a chronic condition worsening. So trying to find the why behind your why will keep you anchored in the movement and fruit and vegetable consumption goals. Speaking of goals, we have a meta-analysis about why the different components of goal setting might work for you. If you need help in setting a goal, really tuning to the Move Your Way campaign provided by the Department of Health and Human Services is one way to really encourage what Becky just mentioned in the agent perspective, that you can be active any way. It can be through walking and wheeling and lifting and basketball and yoga and gardening and dancing, reminding people that all movement counts towards this 150 minutes of aerobic activity and 2 days of full body strength training for people 18 years of age and up is an important component. Once we set these goals, we need to know if we're meeting our goals. One way to do this is old school paper and pencil. Stick it on the refrigerator or at your desk, somewhere that you will have an opportunity to track how many cups and how much movement you're doing at what duration and intensity for the physical activity. You can also do something like grabbing a Fitbit and tracking that behavior to help you understand more about your own self-monitoring goals. And of course, as you heard through this training, providing feedback is one of the most important components of being a FitEx facilitator. Sharing with people, oh, this person posted the most, or this person did an event at their local farmer's market, or this group is offering a 5K, something to keep people involved and knowing that this is live, happening in their community, and something that they can be a part of. We also have a series of different newsletters that provide things like evidence-based strategies, as well as free and affordable recipes that can help you get those fruits and vegetables consumed each day within each week of the program. If you want to learn more about how this has existed within the Commonwealth of Virginia since 2006, you can check out more on the website, as well as some of our downloadable infographics. So as you can see, our website is really simplistic, here to help you see that moving more and eating more fruits and vegetables does not have to be complicated. We can strip it down and have something as simple as a PDF or a downloadable document to help us track and get back to basics. You can also use technology as it serves you, but don't use technology if it overwhelms you. We hope that through this training and the materials that exist, this can help you help others move more and eat more fruits and vegetables and have fun while doing it, and knowing that these two behaviors just help you live a more holistic, healthy life. And we look forward to hearing more about your journey.